Here's the thing most drivers never realize. Your engine doesn't suddenly become inefficient overnight. It slowly starts wasting fuel so quietly that you barely notice until your wallet does. And one of the biggest silent culprits is a set of tired spark plugs that can't ignite fuel the way they used to. That's why today's video matters. We're comparing 6 spark plugs that claim to improve fuel economy, breaking down what actually works, what's just marketing, and which option makes the most sense for your engine and driving style. Some of these focus on innovation, others on longevity, and a few are all about value. But by the end, you'll know exactly which one deserves your money. Stick around, because the gap between number 6 and number 1 isn't small. It could mean years of better MPG. All the links are in the description, so let's get into it. 6. E3 spark plugs, E3.56, Autolite copper core. The E3.56 is easily the most controversial plug on this list, and honestly, that's what makes it interesting. Instead of the traditional J-wire electrode used by almost every copper plug, E3 goes all in on its diamond fire design, a multi-leg electrode that creates a larger flame kernel right in the combustion chamber. On paper, this means faster, more complete combustion, which should translate into better throttle response, smoother idle, and improved fuel economy. And to be fair, many drivers do report modest MPG gains, usually in the 2 to 4% range, which is still meaningful over time. Compared to a basic copper plug like the HiVehicle or standard Autolite, the E3 feels like a technological leap rather than a simple replacement. It also lasts far longer than most copper plugs, thanks to its yttrium-enhanced core and solid construction, with a warranty that absolutely dwarfs traditional copper options. That said, when you stack it against Iridium plugs higher on this list, the E3's efficiency advantage doesn't last nearly as long. Iridium maintains peak performance for 100,000 miles, while the E3, despite its innovation, still eventually behaves like a copper plug. It's also more engine sensitive, meaning correct fitment matters more than usual. Bottom line, the E3.56 is for drivers who like innovation, want better response than stock, and aren't ready to commit to Iridium pricing. Would you trust a bold new design, or do you stick with proven materials? Drop your take in the comments. 5. HiVehicle V7425 copper plugs. The HiVehicle V7425 doesn't try to reinvent anything, and that's exactly the point. This plug exists for one reason: restoring factory performance at the lowest possible cost, especially for V8s and trucks that need a full set. Sold in an affordable 8-pack, this is the kind of plug that immediately makes sense for high-displacement engines, where replacing Iridium across 8 cylinders starts to hurt the wallet. Compared to the E3, the HiVehicle doesn't promise combustion, magic, or efficiency boosts. It simply gives you a clean, consistent spark that stops misfires and wasted fuel caused by worn plugs. And that alone can recover lost MPG surprisingly fast. Its corrosion-resistant shell is a big plus for DIY installers, especially when compared to cheaper copper plugs that seize overtime. Against Iridium options like A Premium or BDFHYK, though, longevity is where the HiVehicle clearly falls behind. You'll be replacing these 3 to 4 times before an Iridium set wears out. Still, if your goal is short-term savings, smooth operation, and reliable fuel burn without spending premium money, this plug does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's practical, predictable, and honest. So here's the real question. Would you rather pay less now and replace sooner, or pay more once and forget about it for years? 4. A premium Iridium, Platinum, V6 spark plugs. This is where long-term efficiency really starts to matter. The A-Premium Iridium Platinum plugs bring dual precious metals into the picture, combining a fine wire iridium center electrode with a platinum ground tip. That combination is proven, not experimental, and it's the same philosophy used by many OEM manufacturers. Compared to copper plugs like HiVehicle or E3, these plugs maintain consistent spark energy for tens of thousands more miles, which means your fuel economy doesn't slowly degrade over time. Against E3 specifically, A-Premium trades experimental combustion geometry for predictable, engine-safe efficiency across a wide range of modern V6 platforms. And while they don't include coils like the HYR kit, they outperform it on longevity alone. Compared to the CNPAPC and BDFHYK Iridium plugs above them, A-Premium sits in a sweet middle ground, more affordable than big-name brands, but still engineered for modern engines that demand stable ignition. These aren't about dramatic MPG spikes. They're about protecting the MPG you already have for years. If you drive a V6 daily and don't want to think about spark plugs again for a long time, this is a smart move. Would you rather chase short-term gains or lock in long-term efficiency? Let's hear it. 3. HYR Iridium Plug and Coil Pack Kit. This option is different, and that's why it matters. The HYR kit doesn't just replace spark plugs, it refreshes the entire ignition system. And here's the truth. Most people overlook. Worn coils waste fuel just as badly as worn plugs. Compared to every other option on this list, HYR is the only one that tackles both problems at once. The Iridium plugs handle efficient combustion, while the new coils ensure strong, consistent voltage delivery. Against A-Premium or BDFHYK, the HYR kit sacrifices some long-term certainty in exchange for immediate results, especially if your engine already has misfires or rough idle. Compared to copper plugs like HiVehicle or E3, this kit operates in an entirely different league when it comes to restoring lost MPG caused by ignition breakdown. Yes, OEM coils may last longer, but at this price point, the value is undeniable for VW and Audi owners who want results now. If your check engine light is on and your fuel economy has tanked, this kit can fix both problems in one shot. Would you rather replace parts individually or solve the entire system at once? 2. CNPAPC Iridium Nye Spark Plugs. This is where performance and efficiency collide. The CNPAPC Iridium Nye plugs focus on high ignitability, meaning the spark requires less voltage and ignites fuel faster and more consistently. Compared to copper plugs, the improvement in combustion efficiency isn't subtle. It's night and day. Against A-Premium, the CNPAPC leans slightly more toward performance response while still offering long iridium life. Compared to BDFHYK, it sacrifices a bit of OE-specific tuning in favor of versatility across motorcycles, compact cars, and performance engines. And that wide application range is impressive. These plugs make engines feel sharper, smoother, and more responsive, which often translates into real-world MPG improvements when paired with good driving habits. The trade-off: installation matters more. Checking gap and torque is critical. Still, for drivers who want iridium benefits without paying top-tier prices, this is one of the strongest value options on the market. Have you noticed better throttle response after switching to iridium? Share your experience. Hawaii 1. BDFHYK Iridium Spark Plugs. This is the quiet winner and the smartest choice for most drivers. The BDFHYK Iridium plugs focus on one thing: long-term fuel economy stability. No gimmicks, no experimental shapes, Just OE-style fine-wire Iridium, designed to last over 100,000 miles, while keeping combustion clean and efficient. Compared to CNPAPC, BDFHYK prioritizes longevity over performance feel. Compared to A Premium, it often edges ahead in engine-specific tuning. And compared to copper plugs, the difference in lifetime fuel savings isn't even close. This is the plug you install once and forget, while your MPG stays consistent year after year. For Toyota, Lexus, Honda, and Mazda owners, this is the safest and smartest investment on the list. Should a value brand really beat the big names? Based on performance per dollar, it absolutely can. What do you think? Does OE-style reliability win, or do you prefer performance-focused designs? Outro. So there you have it, the real breakdown of the best spark plugs for fuel economy. Whether you want ultimate portability for your budget, system-wide ignition refresh, or long-term MPG protection, there's a clear winner for every type of driver. If saving money at the pump matters to you, upgrading your spark plugs is one of the smartest moves you can make. All the links are in the description. So, check prices and compatibility before you buy. If this helped you, hit like, drop a comment with your pick, and subscribe for more no-nonsense car advice. See you in the next one.